If you ever receive an unsolicited call from an acquaintance asking if you want half a dozen old hardwood panels from a gym in your area, say yes. I played CYO basketball on this court as a kid and couldn't let these things go to waste. Looks like a Kevin McAllister booby trap. Kind of see that the panels are, the tongue and groove is very easy to separate in some spots and not in others. So I might try to put a staple, just yoink those two together and put a staple right there to keep the connection strong as I'm hoisting it up to the wall. But these were manufactured by the Horner Flooring Company, no, Horner Hardwood Flooring from Michigan. Kind of cool. Good luck getting all these suckers out. I'm just gonna hammer them down. So I marked out where the studs are on the walls. Now I'm gonna reinstall skinnier battens lengthwise across this way. But I'm gonna avoid the studs so I can insert them between the studs and it'll help support this thing as I'm installing it. It'll make it more rigid, which is what those things were doing, but they are large and heavy and cumbersome. So I'm just gonna get some scrap wood and reinstall smaller battens on either end, avoiding the studs. All right, this panel is about 4 inches too short to fully fit vertically in this space. So I could either make the bottom flush with the bottom here and have that cut out, and then maybe 4 inches below the top of this or below the bottom of that. I think it would look better if I made it flush with the top. So the cutout for the outlet would be right there. That's a little bit cleaner. I'm going to be looking more up here than I am down here, so I can leave the last 4 inches down below exposed. Hoping that I sized these 2 feet correctly to make it so the top sits flush up there. And I've got these support pieces so when I install it, they'll swing down and hold it in place. Get back in there. Woo! All right, so I think I'm just gonna leave this section as is. not try to reattach this here. I was unable to support this to this because of this stud here. I couldn't put a batten across that length. So I think I'm going to save this for another project. And then for the next panel, I'm not going to take off the existing 2x4 battens that are on the back of the boards, the back of the panels. I'm going to leave those there and then I think cut out slots for where the studs are instead of taking them off and then making new battens. But check this out. Here's what I'm going to do with this. So I've got this poster, Naismith International Park, that has kind of a crummy frame that I made a few years ago. But this is a really neat, basically basketball themed, NBA themed, not even NBA, just basketball themed poster. Pretty cool. And that thing deserves hardwood frame. I decided instead to carry on removing the original heavy battens from each panel. Cutting a perpendicular stripe with a circular saw to match the stud locations would be near impossible to do without running the saw blade through one of those nails. If I had a saw blade that could cut through anything, that'd be one thing. I also chose not to reinstall the smaller battens. It just wasn't worth the extra work. So I strategically left the right end of each panel ready to accept its mate in the next panel going up, utilizing the tongue and grooves already cut in each plank. With a clear path forward, all that's left to do now is fight my own stupidity. Oh my God, that's loud.